Okay, this is just a basic Pell routine. This is good for beginners and intermediates alike. I'm not going to do any advanced shots or any hard Pell work. This is just a good every other day get out and hit the Pell kind of exercise. The first thing I'll do is I'll hit 4 to the 4, which in this case are the 4 main target areas. Onside head, onside leg, offside head, offside leg. So 4 to the 4 means hitting each one 4 times. Take a good stance. I'm not going for power here. This is purely my set technique, returning to guard, getting used to the Pell, getting my arm warmed up. If I feel like everything's in place, I usually wear my arm harness at least. Sometimes I'll wear my helm if I'm feeling good. It helps to balance. If you exercise with just your Pell stick, no arm armor, you're sometimes able to move your arm through more freedom of motion, and it's not as heavy, so you get a false impression of what you can do in armor. Having the helm helps a lot as well because your balance is always different with the helm on. So for a warm-up, I'll hit 25 to each of the 4 main target areas. I'm going to truncate that now, but this is what it would look like. To 25, 25, 25, and then 25 again. Once I've done that, I'll do a flow-through drill, meaning I'll hit each of the 4 target areas successively. And I'll do that 10 or 15 times, depending on how my arm feels. Again, I'm not going for power. I'm not trying to crush the Pell with every shot. I'm working on good form, good technique, returning to my guard, working my hips like I'm supposed to. The shots do not emanate from the power of the arm. So it's not, you can only hit so hard like that. Notice that my hip and my shoulder remain in place. When I'm talking about using your hips, I mean setting your core muscles, like you're going to take a punch in the stomach, set that core, rotate with your body, rotate with your shoulder and your hip connected together. I'm using almost no arm in that shot. It's like a Japanese drum where you throw it out, your body motion makes the shot go. My arm is almost limp when I do this. Now if I put my arm control into it, that gives me that fine control of hitting those shots or changing my angle. But the power comes from my hip. And I want this connection, hip to shoulder connection, to be solid going out and coming back. That gives me that fast return. So instead of throwing out, having that disconnect, when I throw that onside shot, I'm using my body to pull my sword back. And that's what those 25 shots are really good for. Time to slowly concentrate that, making sure you're throwing out, pulling back with your guard. That's where that power is coming from. Shoulder, hip connection. Offside shots, depending on how you throw them, I'm using an offside shot that continues from my onside. Throw through, return, return. And this connection again is very important. I'm rotating my body to create that power. Arm alone, there's nothing there. It's about as hard as I can throw. But with my body involved, you can throw a very stout shot. Same with the offside leg. That is coming from the motion of my body, not my arm. Power generation is very important. Very few people are strong enough to make shots like that count with just their wrist and forearm. But when you combine that with your hip and body rotation, and you combine that with rotational energy, you can make a very stout shot even with your sword in front of your body. That's coming from rotating my body, setting my core, and the rotational energy of my body from out in front. It's pretty stout. Even here, it's pretty stout too. I'd probably call that a 6 or a 7. So you don't necessarily have to draw that huge arc. That's a 10 shot when you're coming all the way back and you're plowing through as hard as you can. Then you're throwing a 10. That's not necessary. Here, that's a 6 or a 7. Plenty strong. Another routine I like to do is what I call around the clock, or the numbers drill. It's hard to see anymore because I've worn it off, but I have a number inscribed on the Pell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I saw Duke Uther do this drill, and it's a very solid drill for transitioning between blows. You start by hitting 1, 1. Then you hit 1, 2, 1, 2. Then you hit 1, 3, 1, 3, and so forth around the clock. So the numbers drill would look like so. Then you start from the next number. 2, 2, 2, 1, and so forth. You complete that all the way around. So when you're hitting 6, 6, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, all the way around. That's a very effective drill. You don't want to be throwing hard on this. You're going to wear out very quickly. It's about form and transition. It's knowing that when I come to 6 and I want to hit 2, I need to know how to prepare my body for that shot. I need to draw through, wind, and hit the 2. It's also very good for onside shots, where you're here, 6, now his head's open. How do I go from hitting here to hitting there with power? I'm already extended. I'm not going to draw back, come across, and throw. I know that if I'm here and that shot opens up, pull back to my shoulder and unwind. So 6 is there because I've memorized that shot. Same with, 3, 2. It doesn't really matter where you are. It gives you a good foundation for hitting all the target areas. As I said before, I'm not throwing a lot of power into these shots. My average shot power for, say, doing the 25 to the 4 target areas is there. It's medium power. I'm more trying to focus on my hip-shoulder rotation, my shot placement, getting it exactly where I want it on the target. And at the end of the Pell session, I will throw some full power shots, and I'll work in some full power, full speed combinations. But that's at the end of the exercise, and I don't do a whole lot of that. I think it adds a lot of stress to your shoulder and elbow to be throwing full power all the time. And what I found is, if you have that very solid technique, if you have that very solid fundamentals, throwing power is just a matter of putting it all together. So this is a trick I've been using recently. I'm stretching a line from the chin of my Pell to the back. This is allowing me to do a duck under drill like boxers usually do. A lot of fighters, myself included, are very good at forward and backward motion, but we rarely involve the up and down motion that adds another element to your fighting. This isn't a Hollywood movie. It's very hard to duck a shot that you see coming. But if you have ducks built into your combinations, a lot of times you get lucky and they sync up with when they're throwing. Make you look like some kind of ninja superhero, but it does work. If I'm here and I'm thinking about throwing that offside, I might throw hard to his leg, duck, knowing that his counter is going to be probably a flat snap. So as I'm throwing and I'm ducking, it's a good chance I'm going to miss his shot. So that motion is changing my vertical orientation towards him, and it might be just enough that he slips that shot. allowing me to come up and take advantage. Or just bob back up. This gives me an idea of how low I need to go. Tuck down, hoping to miss that shot, coming back up hard with it. At the end of the session, I'll do a cool down, 4 of the 4, whatever it is, maybe a quick numbers drill, just to ease my body out of it, get my heart rate back down, leave myself with a good solid sword hand feeling.